You know that quiet moment nobody else sees. The bag of groceries feels heavier than it should. The stairs look steeper than they did last year. You rise from the chair with both hands, then smile and say, "You are fine," because you do not want to worry anybody. But deep down, you feel it. Something is changing, not all at once, quietly, slowly, creeping into your strength, your balance, your confidence. And what hurts most is not the ache in your legs or the stiffness in your hands. It is the fear that one day your freedom could slip away without warning. But what if one of the biggest reasons is sitting on your dinner plate? Stay with me, because what you are about to learn could change everything. For years, you have been told that fish is always one of the healthiest things you can eat. And sometimes that is true. But after 60, the wrong fish can quietly load your body with more mercury, more inflammation, and more stress than your system handles well. Meanwhile, expensive pills, powders, and flashy promises keep taking your money while the real answer stays simple, natural, and painfully overlooked. But here is the truth they never wanted you to know. In this video, I am going to show you the 4 fish seniors over 60 should leave off the plate, and the 4 fish you should bring into your kitchen more often if you want to protect your heart, your brain, your joints, and your independence. This is for you if your legs feel weaker, your balance feels less certain, or your energy fades faster than it used to. And the last one? It is hiding in most kitchens right now, but almost nobody is using it correctly. Most people think swordfish is a strong, healthy choice because it looks rich, clean, and full of protein. It even feels like a special meal. But here is what the research actually shows. In the FDA's long-term mercury monitoring, swordfish averaged 0.9995 parts per million of mercury, while fresh salmon averaged just 0.022. That means one popular dinner can carry about 45 times more mercury than a safer choice. Harvard also warns people to avoid swordfish because of its high mercury levels. Mercury is a metal that can affect your brain, nerves, and blood vessels, and aging bodies often clear stressors more slowly. What does that mean in real life? It means the foggy feeling, the slower recall, the odd shakiness, the heavy tiredness after a meal you thought was helping. You may not be your imagination. When mercury builds up, it can irritate the nervous system and strain the tiny pathways that help your brain talk to your muscles. That matters after 60. Because every steady step, every quick reaction, every strong grip depends on clear signals moving through your body. If swordfish is something you eat at restaurants, my advice is simple: skip it. Do not try to make it safer by eating a smaller piece. Replace it with 4 ounces of baked salmon or trout instead, ideally twice a week, and cook it with 1 teaspoon of olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. That combination helps flavor the fish without burying it under heavy batter or frying oils. Here is a pro trick most people miss. When you order fish, ask the server the exact species before you say yes. Fancy menus often make risky fish sound harmless. And the next fish on this list is even more dangerous in a way that shocks people. A lot of people hear the word mackerel and think of heart health, omega-3s, and a smart choice for aging well. And that is partly true, but the detail that changes everything is the species. Mayo Clinic lists Atlantic mackerel as a low-mercury omega-3 rich option. King mackerel is a completely different story. The FDA says king mackerel belongs on the avoid list, and its average mercury level is 0.73 parts per million. Sardines, by comparison, average just 0.013. That is not a small difference. It is a completely different health picture. Inside your body, high mercury fish can work like a quiet saboteur. They do not usually scream, they whisper. They can add stress to blood vessels, irritate nerve tissue, and push your system away from the steady, calm balance your heart and brain need. That dragging feeling when you wake up, the sense that your body is not quite as sure-footed as it used to be, the little slips in memory that make you pause mid-sentence. Those are the kinds of changes that deserve respect, not excuses. So if you enjoy mackerel, do not swear off all of it. Just be precise. Choose Atlantic mackerel, not king mackerel. Keep your portion around 4 ounces, once or twice a week, and bake it gently with garlic, parsley, and a drizzle of olive oil instead of frying it. Pair it with leafy greens, because greens add potassium and magnesium, minerals that support muscles and blood pressure. My pro trick is this: read the label slowly. If the can or package just says mackerel, do not guess. Look for Atlantic. One missing word can change the whole meal. And now I need to tell you about a fish many people order because it sounds elegant when it is anything but kind to an aging body. Orange roughly has a healthy reputation in some kitchens because it is mild, flaky, and easy to chew. For many older adults, that makes it feel safe. But here is what the FDA's numbers show. Orange roughly averages 0.571 parts per million of mercury, far above safer choices like sardines, anchovies, salmon, and trout. This is one of those moments where a soft texture creates a false sense of comfort. A tender bite does not always mean a gentle effect inside your body. When you eat something often, your body does not judge it by taste. It judges it by burden. And orange roughy can add a burden you do not feel right away. That is what makes it so unsettling. The impact is quiet. It can build over time while you keep believing you are making a careful choice. If you have been feeling more worn down than usual, especially in your legs and lower back, it is worth looking not only at what you add to your diet, but also what you stop allowing in. My advice here is clean and simple. Leave orange roughy off your regular menu. If you want a mild, easy-to-chew fish, switch to cod, salmon, or trout. Keep the serving around 4 ounces. Bake it at medium heat, not too long, until it flakes easily with a fork. Pair it with half a cup of cooked vegetables and 1 teaspoon of olive oil, so the meal feels light, steady, and easy to digest. Here is the insider tip. The more neutral a restaurant fish sounds, the more important it is to ask what it actually is. Mild does not mean harmless. And the next fish is the one that fools people with a different trick altogether. Tilefish is not a fish many seniors think about by name, and that is exactly the problem. Sometimes it shows up under other names, including golden bass or golden snapper. That sounds harmless. It sounds almost wholesome, but Harvard warns against tilefish because of its mercury, and the FDA found Gulf of Mexico tilefish averaged 1.123 parts per million of mercury, even higher than swordfish. That is the kind of number that should stop you cold. This matters because hidden names create hidden risk. You cannot protect yourself from something you do not recognize. And after 60, protection is not about fear. It is about wisdom. It is about keeping your mind sharper, your steps steadier, and your dignity intact by removing the quiet things that wear you down. No drama, no panic, just better choices. If you ever see tilefish, golden bass, or golden snapper on a menu, pass on it. Choose salmon, sardines, trout, or anchovies instead. A palm-sized serving is enough. You do not need more. You need to be safer. My pro trick is this: keep a short note in your wallet or phone with the fish you avoid and the fish you trust. In the moment, that tiny list can protect you better than memory alone. Before we go any further, I want to take one moment to speak directly to you. If what you are hearing today is helping you, if even one thing has made you think or given you a little hope, please take 3 seconds and hit that like button. You have no idea how much it means. Every single like tells us that real people, real seniors, are finding value in this content. Subscribe to Dr. Alina Serratia and turn on the bell so you never miss a video like this one. I promise you, everything we create here is made with one purpose only: to help you stay strong, stay healthy, and stay independent for as long as possible. And I would love to hear from you personally. Drop a comment below and tell me which fish you eat most often right now, and whether you ever check the label before buying it. Your story matters. I read every single comment. And if this video has moved you or helped you in any way, the super thanks button is a beautiful way to say so. Every contribution keeps this channel alive for seniors who need it most. Now let me turn the page, because the good news starts here. Most people think salmon is healthy, mostly because of omega-3 fats, and that is true. But the real story is deeper. In Harvard's analysis of 20 studies involving hundreds of thousands of people, eating about 1 to 2 3-ounce servings of fatty fish a week, including salmon, was linked to a 36% lower risk of dying from heart disease. In the cardiovascular health study, 2,692 adults aged 65 and older with higher long-chain omega-3 levels had a 27% lower risk of total mortality and a 40% lower risk of coronary heart disease death between 1992 and 2008. Because the EPA and DHA in salmon help steady heart rhythm, lower triglycerides, and support blood vessel function. Salmon does not just feed you, it protects you. You feel that protection in ways numbers do not fully capture. Your circulation works more smoothly. Your joints feel less loud. The heavy, dragging sensation in your legs after sitting too long can soften because omega-3 fats help calm the inflammatory signals that make tissues feel swollen, stiff, and sore. In plain words, salmon helps your system move with less internal friction. I think of Marlene, a 72-year-old widow from Dayton, who told me she stopped trusting her legs on the stairs. She had tried skipping meals, eating less, and buying pricey supplements, but nothing changed. Then she started replacing one processed dinner each week with baked salmon, roasted vegetables, and olive oil. A few weeks later, she noticed something small but powerful. She was no longer pulling herself up the railing one step at a time. She climbed with more confidence. She stood longer in the kitchen. She felt more like herself. Her story is not unique. Right now, thousands of seniors across the country are discovering exactly this. The practical sweet spot is 4 ounces of salmon twice a week. Bake it at medium heat with lemon, black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Eat it with spinach, broccoli, or another green vegetable. That pairing matters because the fish brings the omega-3s, and the greens bring minerals your muscles and blood pressure love. My pro trick is one most people overlook. Do not overcook salmon until it turns dry and chalky. When it stays moist, it is easier to chew, easier to enjoy, and easier to keep eating regularly. And the next fish is smaller, cheaper, and in some ways, even more impressive. Sardines do not get much respect. People think of them as old-fashioned, too strong, too small to matter. But here is what the research actually shows. The FDA lists sardines among the best lower mercury choices, and their average mercury level is just 0.013 parts per million. In the Tromsø study from Norway, 4,350 older adults with higher fatty fish intake had 37% lower odds of pre-frailty 8 years later, and people who kept a stable high fish intake over 21 years had 41% lower odds of pre-frailty. Sardines fit this pattern beautifully because they bring omega-3s, protein, vitamin D, and soft edible bones that provide calcium. That combination helps muscles contract, nerves fire, and bones stay supported. What does that feel like in your body? It feels more steadier, more resilience, less of that hollow weakness that can appear by late afternoon when your energy dips and your knees start bargaining with you. Sardines feed the systems that keep you upright, not glamorous, powerful. A smart serving is 1 small can, about 3.75 ounces, once or twice a week. Mash it onto whole grain toast with half an avocado and a squeeze of lemon, or stir it into a salad with olive oil and herbs. The avocado or olive oil adds healthy fat that makes the meal more satisfying and easier to stick with. Here is the pro trick. Keep the tiny bones. They are soft, they almost disappear, and they carry much of the calcium. That one small detail can turn a humble lunch into a strength meal. And the next fish matters if your brain feels slower than it used to. Rainbow trout often gets overlooked because it does not carry the same fame as salmon. But sometimes the quiet foods are the ones that help the most. Mayo Clinic names lake trout among the low-mercury, omega-3 rich fish choices, and the FDA includes trout in its best choices list. In a remarkable study from Loma Linda University, 40 healthy older adults, ages 63 to 90, with higher omega-3 levels, showed better memory, better processing speed, and healthier brain structure measures. In another cardiovascular health study report, 2,622 older adults with higher long-chain omega-3 levels had an 18% lower risk of unhealthy aging over up to 22 years of follow-up because omega-3 fats become part of your cell membranes, including in the brain. They help those cells stay flexible and communicate more smoothly. That can show up as quicker recall, steadier focus, and fewer of those frustrating moments when a simple word slips away and leaves you staring into space. Brain health is not only about memory games, it is also about what you feed the tissue itself, and trout gives you a clean, practical way to do that. Aim for 4 ounces of trout once or twice a week. Bake it with dill, lemon, and 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Serve it with beans or lentils if you want the meal to carry you longer, because the extra fiber helps steady blood sugar and energy. My pro tip is this. If you buy trout frozen, thaw it slowly in the refrigerator, not on the counter. The texture stays better, the moisture stays in, and older jaws find it easier to chew. And now we come to the fish almost nobody uses enough, even though it may be one of the smartest choices in the house. Anchovies scare people off because they think only of salt and pizza toppings. But here's what the science says. The FDA lists anchovies among the best lower mercury choices, with an average mercury level of just 0.0016 parts per million. Harvard includes anchovies among the fatty fish linked to lower heart disease death, and Mayo reminds us that omega-3 rich fish help lower blood pressure, lower triglycerides, and support heart health. In the Ohio State University randomized trial of 138 middle-aged and older adults, omega-3 supplementation over 4 months lowered the inflammatory marker IL-6 by 10 to 12%, while the placebo group saw a 36% increase. Researchers explained that omega-3 fats help curb the inflammatory compounds made from excess omega-6 fats. In plain words, they help quiet the internal fire that makes aging feel heavier than it needs to. And that internal fire has a voice. It is the stiff fingers in the morning, the puffy ankles by evening, the soreness that lingers too long after a normal day. That is inflammation talking. And smart omega-3 choices help turn the volume down. You do not need to eat a pile of anchovies. 4 to 6 fillets melted into olive oil with garlic can flavor a whole pan of vegetables, beans, or tomato sauce. That is enough to start using them in a way your body actually benefits from. Pair them with white beans, eggs, or greens so the meal becomes balanced, filling, and easy to repeat. My pro trick is this. Do not eat anchovies straight from the jar if the taste feels too strong. Let them melt into warm olive oil first. The sharpness softens, the flavor spreads, and suddenly the fish you thought you hated becomes the quiet secret behind a delicious meal. Before I recap, I want to say something from the heart. Everything I shared with you today is for education, not as a replacement for personal medical advice. If you live with diabetes, kidney disease, heart disease, gout, or any other long-term condition, or if you take prescription medicine, please talk with your doctor before making major changes to your diet. I say that because I want you safe, not scared. Your health deserves care that fits your body, your history, and your real life. So let this stay simple in your mind. Swordfish loads your body with far more mercury than safer options. King mackerel looks healthy, but can quietly overwhelm an aging system. Orange roughly feels gentle on the tongue, while carrying a burden your body does not need. Tilefish hides behind friendly names while bringing one of the highest mercury levels on the list. Salmon protects and restores powerful omega-3s. Sardines rebuild strength with protein, vitamin D, and calcium. Rainbow trout nourishes your brain and supports healthier aging. Anchovies calm the quiet fire of inflammation, while adding almost no mercury compared with the risky fish we talked about today. Now here is your challenge, and I want you to do it today. Pick just one of the good fish from this video and make a plan to eat it before the day is over, or place it on your shopping list before bedtime. Just one, not all four. One small step. Then pay attention tomorrow morning. Notice your energy. Notice your joints. Notice how your body speaks back. And come back to the comments and tell me what you chose and how you felt. Momentum begins there. If this video meant something to you, if it gave you one new idea, one new reason to believe that your best days are still ahead, then please share it with someone you love. A parent, a friend, a neighbor who is struggling. You might not realize it, but sharing this video could be the thing that changes their life. Subscribe to Dr. Alina Serratia if you have not yet. Every video we make is designed for one purpose: to remind you that aging does not have to mean slowing down, giving up, or losing the things you love most. You have worked too hard for too many years to simply accept weakness as your fate. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to move freely. You deserve to live fully. And I will be right here every single week, giving you the tools to do exactly that. Take care of yourself. Stay active. Stay strong. Have a blessed day. And as always, breathe easy.